Okay, so for today's video, we are going to be making homemade tomato soup. It's easy, it's simple, it's a comfort food. We're right in the fall season, also known as the soup season. I got these sun-dried tomatoes, which we're going to be incorporating into our soup. I got these beefsteak tomatoes. Also, we are going to be using some of my homegrown cherry tomatoes. We also got this sweet and seedless pepper you can find it at any store. Most stores carry this brand or any brand, but it's very similar. And then we also got ourselves some yellow onion. I recommend it was a sweet onion, but they didn't have any, so I opted for the yellow onion, which is the closest thing that we can get. We are also be using basil, oregano, and thyme from the garden. You're going to need yourself a handy dandy pot to put your soup in. You are going to either need your blender or your puree, whatever you prefer. All right, and also, before I forget, a good old fancy sharp knife and an anti-grip cutting board. Let's get on with it. Okay, so we are going to cut our peppers up a little bit. We do have our handy dandy blender, which we're going to pop everything into this blender in a moment. So let's go ahead. If you have already watched my heart-centered sandwich video, highly recommend you go and watch it. There's no season here, so I guess it's seedless. Did it say that? Oh, it said it's seedless. Oh, wow. When you talk about somebody who doesn't know how to read, apparently that's me. I'm one of those customers who don't read the label, even though I just read it to you. How embarrassing. Anyway, we're going to speed this up, and we're just going to just chop, take the lids off. You can just go like this, since there's no seasoning. There's no need. You're just going to pop it in the hole. It's going to get blended anyway, so there's no need to keep, going crazy with it. You just got to cut it in half. Or there is another easier method as well, and I'll show you what that easier method is now. So if you don't want to do all this work, done. Pop it in. So I'm going to say this is about a good amount of peppers you're going to need, so you don't need to incorporate any more unless you have a larger family or you're feeding a large amount of people. This looks like a good amount of peppers. Again, you can eyeball it and see what works, what doesn't work. Now that we have that, we are also going to pop in our tomatoes. Now, if you don't have enough room in your blender, that's completely fine. Because what you're going to do eventually, you are going to be making 2 batches of soup. So it doesn't really necessarily matter whether you put everything in the first one or the second one. As long as you get all the ingredients incorporated, it doesn't matter how you do this. So we're going to use up all our tomato, because tomato is our main portion of today's dish. So we're just going to throw that into the blender. So we don't have enough room for everything else to be added in. That is completely fine. Okay, so after you put your blender on the blender machine, you are going to turn it on. Okay, let's wait a couple seconds. And then you are going to hit it on any one of these. I'm going to hit food puree. So now that we got our soup puree off the blender, we are now going to finish up by adding more ingredients into the blender itself. We're going to use up all the beefsteak tomatoes. We're going to pop in some garlic. We're going to add in some herbs. Again, if you don't have enough room, do not worry. You don't want to overload the machine. So it's completely fine. And we're just going to pop this bad boy into the blender. Make sure you cut it up so it's easier for the blender to actually get into the nitty-gritty. I think all this stuff here would have cost me roughly around $20. $23, give or take. For the first one, for the yellow onion, we're actually going to peel. Alright. A lot more difficult than it looks. Now you want to be very careful when dealing with onion, because onion can make you cry. Or unless you're hearing a story or watching a telenovela, a lot of them can make you cry. But an onion will definitely be one of those, especially if you want to learn how to self-cry. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to cut the onion in half. Alright, now you don't want to cut the bottom part off just yet, because if you cut the bottom part off, it's going to start to smell like onion and it's going to make you cry. You're going to cut the top off of the onion and go like that, and you are just going to make an increment, just like this. The whole idea of cutting these onions into smaller shape is just so that it's easier for us to put into the blender, just so we don't have to just blend again. Just wash your fingers. Does not matter how you cut. It's going to be all blended and incorporated into the soup itself. So it does not matter. All right, we're going to add this into the blender. Now you can also add in celery. You can add in some green peppers. I would normally add green peppers into this mixture, but one of my coworkers is allergic to green peppers. So as it turns out, we actually ran out of actual fresh garlic. Do not worry. We have a solution. We're going to be using our granulated garlic powder. We're going to pop this in. Just use as much as you think fits. So I'm going to, take a good decent amount because it does look like a lot. But once it starts to be incorporated with everything else, it's going to bring out that flavor. Now, if you accidentally overdo the garlic, do not worry. You can easily fix this by adding some parsley and it'll solve all your problems. Now, because you don't need to add any olive oil into the mixture because it's already incorporated with the sun-dried tomatoes, you do not need to add any olive oil into the soup because it's already going to be incorporated with the sun-dried tomatoes. If I can even get this out. Okay, so we're going to use a little spoon to try to get the sun-dried tomatoes out because it's being very stubborn today, and I don't like stubborn. There's a lot. I think I might have overdid this blender, but that's okay. Hopefully it doesn't explode. We will see in a moment. So as it turns out, I just didn't know how to put the lid back on, apparently. Okay, so we are going to do the exact same thing that we did prior. We are going to put this on food puree. Actually, probably turn it on would be helpful. To the garden, we got a whole bunch of oregano, some rosemary, a lot of basil, and some basil flowers. Basil flowers are really good, even though a lot of people say that they're bitter. They're really good. It really brings out the potency of the basil plant, and it's really great for any type of soup. I use this all year round, especially when we have some basil flowers. I leave a whole bunch on for the bees, but I do take some occasionally and I do pop them into my homemade soup that I make. It's so delicious. So if you have some basil flowers, do not kill the plant. Take some basil flowers, they're edible and it's so tasty. I'm gonna pop this into the blended soup mixture and then I'm gonna pop this in the stove. Okay, so I can see this is the mixture. You can kind of see there's some chunks in there. That's completely fine. Because when you add this stuff in it, it's gonna either reblend. And even if there's some chunks in it, I mean, who doesn't like a good chunky tomato soup? It's really good. Anyway, we're gonna pop this stuff in there. Okay, so now that we have our green oregano, basil, thyme, rosemary all incorporated, we are now just gonna turn this down one last time and put this on food puree. So for this next part, you're gonna wanna turn on the stove and set it on high for a minute. You're gonna need some chicken bulletin cubes. You're gonna need 2 and 2 scoops of 1 cup measuring cup of hot water, and you just pour it in, and then we're just gonna pour the soup into the pot. Okay, so now that we got our tomato soup puree done, we're gonna pour this into the bowl of hot water very slowly. Okay, so this is what it should look like. It should be kind of creamy, a little bit runny, because as it starts to evaporate from the heat, it's going to become more of a nice consistency. We are also going to add in a half a cup of heavy whipping cream. So I grabbed myself a half a cup measuring spoon, and we're going to pour the heavy whipping cream into this, about a half a cup, and an eyeball if you need more, add what your mixture or recipe. I'm just going to use a half a cup, and I'm going to eyeball it from there. Make sure you shake it beforehand. We're just going to pour this in. So as of right now, this is what it looks like. We're going to lightly mix it very slowly, incorporating this into our soup mixture. It is going to lighten up the color. That's exactly what we want. It's going to be absolutely okay. It's going to thicken up the soup and also make it very creamy. Okay, so now that we have our soup and everything ready covered with the heavy whipping cream and the soup and the chicken bulletin broth, we are now going to get our seasoning. I'm going to use coriander, which should look like these. We're going to be using sage, fennel seeds, I think I just I said the drug word. We are also going to be using chopped onion. If you can add more onion if you want. Crushed red pepper, and some black pepper. We are also going to need our famous Himalayan salt, which somehow I forgot, but you're also going to use some Himalayan salt. And we're just going to pop this in. We're going to put this on medium now that everything is bubbling. Oh yeah, that looks good. It smells so earthy. I cannot wait to try this later. Alright, so now you're going to try to eyeball this. It's really all about eyeballing and kind of see what's going to be good. Just about a couple of shakes in there, it's good enough. We are also going to add a very light amount of red crushed pepper, only because my coworkers do not like spicy, so be very careful. If you actively overdo the spice content, add some sugar, and it'll be fine. And add in some black pepper. You can add in some honey if you want, but honey would actually sweeten out some of that acidic bitterness that you normally will find in your soup. Now, if for example you are using tomato can or what's it called, tomato, like crushed tomatoes in like a can, always recommended to always try lemon zest, make lemon zest with a little bit of stevia kind. Add that into your tomato mixture and it balances out the acidity so you don't have heartburn. We've got some coriander. We're just going to put a whole bunch in there. It's going to add some real nice flavor. It's going to add that nice pop of earthiness. That's exactly what we're looking for. And then we're going to add in some fennel seeds. And we should be good on the seasoning aspect. We're adding some garlic. I know we added garlic, but we might need a little bit more garlic. So we're adding some garlic as well. I'm just going to mix this so everything starts to get incorporated into the mixture itself. It smells so good. And if you're actually adding too much garlic, add some parsley. Parsley will balance out the taste of the garlic, make it more well balanced. Make sure you constantly stir your soup, otherwise you're going to start to burn on the bottom. That's not what we want. Okay, so now that we have our soup mixed in and, at this boiling point where it's bubbling, we're going to put it on a lower level. We're going to kind of cook simmer. We're going to grab yourself a handy-dandy spoon. We're going to give it a quick taste test. Now make sure you blow so it doesn't burn your tongue. Good test so you can see how the flavor is. You need to add more salt. You need to add this. You need to add that. Is it salty? Is it sweet? Is it spicy? That's what we're going to find out right now. We're going to grab yourself a good handful, just like this. And we're going to blow on it. Holy cow, wow. I just feel like in a salt. Perfect. Okay, so we just added some more salt. It came beautiful, it's earthy. There's no acidity in it. It's exactly what we're looking for. I got myself one more spoon. I'm going to give it a taste to see if I overdid the salt. Probably should blow on it first. Beautiful, good, it's fresh. Love it. Leave the soup in the pot and just serve it in a bowl for everybody to go and take and dip your bread. So thank you guys for watching. I cannot wait to show you later what everybody else thinks. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to probably do another redo of this video, a little bit more intensive, a little bit more flavorful, but this is a good try. Let me know in the comment section below if you guys have made this soup yet, or what you guys think. I cannot wait for you guys to try it at your own home, and I cannot wait for my coworkers later to try it as well. Until then, I'll see you guys in a little bit. Bye. Okay, so I have my preheated soup. It has tomatoes, peppers, everything that we included into it, and some seasoned crouton if you want to add in. We're going to give it a quick taste test. It's really good. It's hearty, it's fresh, really delicious. And you want what's really good about it is if you have any leftover, you can actually repurpose it if you want to make like pasta stock, maybe mussels and pasta. Whatever you want, it's really good. Make the soup. Delicious.